Today we'll use a ball, and you can use any kind of ball. I'm using these yoga therapy balls, yoga tune-up balls, but you could use a dryer ball, a tennis ball, anything you've got. If you don't have one, I'll give you another idea for that portion. And we'll use a strap, a blanket, a chair, anything you have that you think you could use. And let's start today seated, actually, okay? So we will sit up on a blanket, or you can sit on a pillow. You don't have to have your knees crossed. You can sit however you want to. Maybe take a sigh or two, getting yourself here and present. I'm going to turn off, I've got this little heater going. And turn this baby off so it's not so loud. There. Okay. That's better. Whew. So, yes, getting grounded, feeling where you're making contact with the floor. Maybe taking another sigh. Notice if you're holding yourself up away from gravity, in your neck or your shoulders, your jaw. You can let that go and also stay upright, right? So instead of rounding or slouching, you don't have to be forceful about it. Just arranging your ribs over your pelvis a little bit more and the top of your head going toward the ceiling. Noticing your breath as it goes in and as it goes out. And if you'd like to, you could bring your mind to an intention that you might have for your yoga practice today. Could be anything. It could be mental or emotional. It could be physical. And letting that go as you begin to widen your breath a little bit more. So feeling like your breath is more three-dimensional on all sides of your torso on the inhale. And then lengthening the exhale. You could breathe out through pursed lips if you'd like. But keeping the breath easy. And then you could breathe in and out through your nose if you prefer. Allowing your breath to be soft and smooth. And as you're ready, let's just start to move a little bit through the torso. So there's some spirals. They can be big, they can be small. I guess it's more of a circle. But you could spiral, keeping it wide, and then spiral inward toward the center. So getting your circles to be smaller and smaller until you get right into the middle. Good. All right, now let's take the feet in front of you. And you can post up your arms behind you. We're just going to windshield wiper. I prefer to do these off of my blanket or pillow. And these can be small or they can be bigger. So this would be bigger, right? Coming all the way toward the floor with my feet wide. And this is a really good seated warm-up. So something we were talking about, ways to just keep moving in the day to reduce stiffness after being still for a while. And it's a good idea to spend a little bit of time on the floor every day, just sitting in different positions. And this is something you could do on the floor. So these side seats or windshield wipers. if you're able to and it feels good to you, you could start to turn it into more of a side seat switch with a reach through the arm as you come around to one side, letting your breath flow as you do this. I like this one because it tends to warm up all the way from the ankles to the knees, to the hips, to the back, even the ribs. I get a stretch through my ribs, and maybe even the shoulder, depending on how you're reaching. Good. Now, let's come back to the center and straighten the legs out in front. Now, you might want to sit back up on your blanket for this, and you might also want to sit against your wall or furniture if you need more support behind your back, okay? Hands can be here or just wherever you want. Let's inhale, pull the toes back. So dorsiflexion, and exhale, point. So this can be done as an ankle warm up. So just when you're seated, it can be done on your back, right? We've done it on our backs when we're doing a hamstring stretch. And we also do it when we're standing by lifting and lowering the heels. Okay, so there's lots of ways to do this one. And now let's roll the ankles around in a circle. Let's see if you can keep your knees still as you do that. And now reverse and go in the opposite direction with the circles. Good. Then just let your ankles rest, and let's get our hands on our kneecaps. You guys have done this with me before. And we're gonna let's try the side to side motion first. So you've gotta, in order to get the kneecaps to move, the thighs have to soften, okay? So they gotta let them relax. And if your thighs are tense just in general or tight, they might not be able to soften, okay? But at some point you'll be able to get them to do it. Right? And if you've had a knee replacement, I've had people that can't get their kneecaps to move just yet after the knee replacement, but I've also had people that can, right? So you're just gonna explore it and see what happens. Let's take the thumbs to the inner knee cap and the fingers to the outsides, and I'm just trying to go side to side with my kneecaps like this. Trying to get them to loosen up. Keep breathing as you do something like this. Good. Notice if you're getting any movement or if it's different side to side. And now let's take thumbs on the top edge, so the side closest to your thigh, fingers on the bottom edge, and see if you can get them to slide up and down a little bit. Good. Now let's take the hands above and work on the thigh area. So we're just going to massage in the area of the quadriceps that is directly above the knee. So I've got my thumbs on the innermost part, my fingers on the out, but depending on, the shape of your legs, you might need to use both hands on one and then switch. Okay, that can work too. And now let's see if we can get those muscles to engage. So I'm going to do my claw hand with the thumb on the inside and give a good squeeze. So above the kneecap on the quadriceps area, and I'm going to try to tighten my leg and feel it tighten below my hands, hopefully, and then can you let it go? Tighten and release it. Tighten, and if you look at it, if you're having trouble getting it to tighten, you can try looking at it. That helps your brain to get it. Sometimes it's just the brain isn't connected to a particular muscle very well, And you might also find that as you're trying to tighten these muscles, like you're tightening your butt muscle instead. That's pretty common too. Okay, so you might like just try to tighten anything. So as you get better, it's like learning to wiggle your ears or something. It's like you really gotta focus and work and practice at it, or play the guitar or something, right? It's a small muscle thing going on. All right, then try the other side if you haven't already. And it's something you can work on too. Okay, so you can work on it, being able to both tighten a muscle and also soften a muscle. Okay, now just wiggle out your legs a little bit. Let's get a small object. So it could be an imaginary object. I know I didn't tell you to grab a block, but you can use anything you've got nearby. We're going to work on lifting our leg up and over the object, okay? So again, you might need something behind your back. I'm going to use my right leg first, and I'm going to try to tighten that muscle we were just tightening, and then use the exhale to see if I can lift the leg, keeping it straight up and over the object. And then inhale again, tighten that muscle, exhale up and over. Good, keep going a few more times with this right leg. You might need more of a challenge, right? You can make it taller, or you might need less of a challenge. You might need to take it away and just see if you can lift it at all, okay? Just try not to hold your breath as you're doing it. We're working the hip flexor here, but we're also trying to work the quad, one of the quads that's not a hip flexor, just to keep the leg straight if possible. Okay, let that go. Let's try the other one. Okay, can use an object or not. Inhale to tighten the muscle. Try to keep it tight as you exhale, lift up and over. Notice if one side is easier than the other. Good. All right, kind of shake them out a little bit. Let's try to bring the soles of the feet together. Now, sitting up on a blanket or a pillow works well for this. If this bothers your knees, you might have to widen the area between heels to groin, okay? So you can just see if this will work for you, all right? And just take a few breaths here. Hands can be back here, or they can be here. All right, now we're gonna use our ball. And I know I should have told you to grab a block. I know you guys that are here, I think, have them, so it'll be fine. If you don't have a yoga block, a hardcover book can work. Anything with height. This also works on your chair. On my chair's soft, so I would probably want a book on top of my chair to make it harder up here, but I'll show it there too. Okay. If you don't have a ball, you're gonna use your thumbs to get into your calf, okay? But with the ball, we're gonna place the ball on a hard surface that's raised a little bit or raised a lot, and put your ball on, let's go in thirds of our calf. So let's do the top third. And I know we were talking about that area right behind the knee that is giving some people some trouble. You don't want to put it on the exact area. So I'm not putting it directly behind my knee, but I am putting it right on the top part of the calf that tends to be affected when that area hurts. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm hunting around for any tight spot in there. It could be, you can see I'm turning my leg in because I find one right there, or it could be, more on the outer part, might roll off. Okay, so you gotta hunt around for it. And it might be enough pressure. In fact, I did a whole workshop with the balls this weekend, and people found this like almost intolerable. Some people, it was so tight on their calves. If you're finding it to be like that, what I would do is tighten my muscle and then try to gradually soften into it, and tighten and soften. Like give yourself a way out. Don't just stay there and clench up. Okay, intense is not better. Okay, for me, I actually want more pressure, so I put my other leg on top. Okay, that's just me though. All right, so you can keep it off, you can put it on. And then to actually get a change in the tissue, we're gonna try to move the leg that I'm working on. If you can see, I'm pointing and flexing the ankle, which changes what the calf is doing, or I can roll it, okay? And you stay on here for like 30 seconds or until you feel a tissue change. If nothing happens because it's just so like tight in there, then after 30 seconds you move on, okay? You don't just stay on there. And then go to the middle part of the calf, hunt around for a new spot. For me now it's on the outside, finding it. Keep breathing, right? So as I mentioned, more intense is not necessarily better. You might actually, you'll get more change when you can be relaxed, okay? Remember the movements of the ankle, the way to do this on a chair, and it allows you to relax your upper body as you do it. I actually would need something hard. I'd probably want something lower than the block. Oh yeah, and then I can just relax, right? So I can roll out my calf, but relax the whole upper body so I'm not getting tight in my neck or shoulders. And I think I've told you all before that sometimes I just do this in bed at night. I'll use a hardcover book and put it below my calf, maybe if I'm reading in bed or something before I go to bed. And then you can go down to the bottom third of your calf, like around the Achilles tendon area. There can be a lot of tight spots in there, and same thing. Good. And once you've had enough with that side, you can take your foot off the ball and just notice the difference in the two legs. Following the breath in and out. And then let's go to the second side. So again, you can use the chair if you want, or something on the floor. Start with any third of your leg. Hunt for some spots. Whew. And notice, right? And I find this to be super helpful for me with ankle issues as well. Shin splints, ankle issues, kind of foot stuff, knee stuff. So about 30 seconds in each area. Okay, just moving through them as you're ready. And you can always do it lying down as well. Kind of keeping that breath smooth and soft. And probably coming around your third set, your third spot. Of course, you can always stay on one if that's better for you. as you're ready, whenever you're ready, coming off, noticing. Feeling your breath go in and out, noticing if you've got tight anywhere else, you can roll the shoulders. And then slowly we'll come onto our hands and knees. And we're only going to be here for a moment. But you can just move through some cats and cows if you'd like. It's another good one for anything if you're doing seated, if you're just trying to do some stuff on the floor in a seated position. Cat and cow is a nice one to add in because it moves through the spine. You're trying to articulate different parts of the spine. And you can always move the hips in one direction or another. I like to kind of twist around, look over one shoulder, back to center, and do the other one. And then from here, you can use the bear get up if it works for you, lifting knees off the floor, coming all the way onto your feet. And then inhale, reaching arms up. And exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Good, so that's a good one to do when you get out of a chair for a while or when you get out of bed, right? Another good one, and I'll show it here, but I'll also show it at the wall, is like your rock climbing. So feet could be about shoulder distance. You're gonna inhale, reach up with one arm, and I'm doing a slight side bend as I do that. You can look up if it doesn't hurt the neck, and then exhale, just switch sides, going side to side. And really long. This is a nice one for stretching out the QL muscle, which is down here in the lower back region. It can get really tight on people. And it also stretches the pulling muscles as well. Why can't I think of what it's called at the moment? It's a really huge muscle, a very common one. It'll come to me. You can do it at the wall too. So you can do it like you're trying to reach up for a point on the wall. It just gives your hands a destination, right? Another thing I like to do that I think I've told you before is just as you're walking around through your house, every time you go through a doorway to reach up. This is a really tall door. Oh my gosh, the doors in my house are not this tall. But I reach up and I'm grabbing the top of the edging there, the trim. Right? So anytime I go through a doorway, I'm just gonna reach up and grab. So I get this mobility through my shoulders throughout the day, right? Okay, and now when you get done with all that, let's take the feet a little wide and swing and twist. So another good one, kind of spinal, but also shoulders, chest, and hips. And you can see how it is affected by your breath if you want. So as you twist, you could try blowing out through the mouth, like. Good, coming back to the center. And just stand for a moment, noticing how you feel. Good. You're gonna stand with feet any distance apart. And your hands is touching the fronts of the thighs. Well, inhale, stand tall. And as you exhale, start to bend the knees any amount. And then inhale, come up and roll the shoulders. Good. And exhale, sit back down. Good. Try to notice in your own knees if they are staying the same distance apart as your feet, or if there's a tendency for them to come in, like knock knee together, try to keep them the same distance as your feet if you can. And then also notice if the weight is primarily in your heels or in the balls of your feet. One's not better than the other. It just puts less pressure on the front of the knee if you take the weight to the heels, and it works the glutes a little bit more. Okay. And think torso proud, right? So instead of going down like this, trying to stay upright. Good, one more. Good, coming to stand. Just notice how you're feeling. Good. Following your breath in and out. All right, I'm gonna stand in front of the seat of your chair. If your back is bothering you, you may need to do this seated in your chair, or maybe even just not leaning as far over as the seat, okay? All right, so we'll inhale, reach up, and exhale, hinge at the hips, taking your hands to the surface. Now, I'm gonna try to keep the weight in the heels. So see how I'm toe tapping? Yeah, so weight is in the heels. And now I'm gonna put a little bend in my knees. And let's lift the toes up towards the shin. The ball of the foot stays down, the toes are lifting up. I'm gonna try to keep the toes extended like this and keep breathing as I roll onto the outer edges of the feet and the inner edges. Wobbly cowboy. Outer edges, inner edges. Keep breathing. So again, another ankle warm up, but also hip and knee. Again, it could be done standing too if your back is bothering you, right? So you could do that. You could also do it sitting down. Okay. Good. Now let's stay here and just put the feet flat on the floor. This one could be done standing upright as well if your back is bothering you. So we're gonna inhale, reach the chest forward, but not the chin. And exhale, let's lift one foot off the floor. Bend the other knee, weight and heel. Okay, we're gonna draw big circles with your hip. So these are different than the hip cars, the controlled articular rotations. Instead, this one's not really isolating. I'm letting my other knee and hip move. I'm letting my back move, letting everything move. So it's more full body, okay? And you hopefully will start to feel that bottom hip working as you do this, reversing directions. And if you were doing this standing because it bothered your back, you would just make big circles like this, standing. Good. And then let's put that foot down and let's take a break between sides, stretching back to chair downward dog. Another great one to do anytime during the day to just stretch out both the legs and the arms. You could always do floor downward dog too. It's just way more demanding. And it gets into more upper body strength rather than just mobility. Okay, 2 more breaths there. And then bending the knees and walking towards your chair. Getting set up so the weight is in the heels and the knees are bent. And then lifting the other foot off the floor. Same thing. Big hip circles, letting the standing hip and knee move. And then reversing directions. Good, hopefully you're starting to feel it in that bottom hip. And then both feet down on the floor. Let's inhale, reaching your chest forward without your chin going forward. Exhale, bend the knees. And then inhale, reach up. Stand up. Exhale, arms out and down. Good. All right, noticing how you're feeling now. can even do a few bounces. So bounces can be great too, to change how you feel any part of the day. All right, and then pausing, noticing your connection with the floor. All right, let's get our straps. It can be any kind of strap, stretchy, not stretchy. Today I'm using a non-stretchy one. And from here, let's hold it so that the backs of the hands are facing forward. The width of it is going to depend on your body. Okay, you're going to find that out in a moment. Okay, feet stable. Inhale, let's go up with the arms. So from here, would you be able to keep the arms straight and start going behind your back? You might need to widen your grip. And of course you want to make sure you don't have shoulder injuries or pain as you do that, and start to take it down. And then up and over. So what you're trying to find here is the width of the arms that will work for you to keep your arms straight, where you still get a stretch, but you're not hurting yourself, okay? It's not like, oh my gosh, my ligaments are about to break or my tendons are gonna pop, okay? So it's just a nice stretch, a good opening, nothing too intense, okay? A couple more of these. I actually really like these with the stretchy straps. Releasing and relaxing your jaw. Good, and then the next time you come up to the front and down, you can let the strap go. All right, and we're gonna take the arms out to the sides. Let's step the feet wide too. Let's do a little warrior two pose as we do this, okay? So opening up one side, doesn't matter which. The back heel kicks back, okay? And then with the hands, I've got my palms down, but I get really tight in my upper traps and neck. So I'm gonna lower my elbows, okay? And then from here, you can bend and straighten, or you can keep it bent. I'm gonna inhale, make stop signs with the hands. And exhale, I'm gonna fold my thumbs in, making a fist, and then turn the knuckles down. Good, and repeat. Just let the neck be at ease. You can even move the neck around. Let's do one more. Good, and then bring the arms down. Do a few shoulder rolls as you switch your feet to the other side. Okay, this time, on this side, we're gonna inhale, open up the arms. And exhale, let's bring right arm on top of left for either a hug, like this, or eagle arms, whichever serves you better, okay, with that little hook. Inhale, breathing into the upper back. And exhale, relaxing your neck. You could bring your chin towards your chest or take your head to one side. If you're doing eagle arms, the idea, I can't do it with this shirt. It's not stretchy enough. But from here, you're trying to lift the elbows up in eagle arms without lifting up here in the neck. So it's relaxed here, lifted here, stretching here. If this hurts or it just doesn't feel right, do the hug, okay? And just breathe into here. All right, if your leg needs a break, you straighten it, okay? And come back into it. We're gonna do the other side. So you inhale, open up. Exhale, left on top of right, either hug or eagle arms. Relax around your neck. Inhale, breathing into your upper back. Exhale. And again. Good, then inhale, open wide. Exhale, arms down, turning foot forward. Let's walk the feet closer together. Good. We'll turn to face your chair again. Okay. Now, right leg forward, left leg back, a warrior one stance. Like you're on 2 tracks rather than a tightrope, okay? And we'll inhale. Let's clasp the hands behind the back if you can. And just place your knuckles on your sacrum if you can. Roll the shoulders back and try to squeeze the elbows toward one another. Good. You can stay like this, just opening up through here. Or you can try to straighten if that feels better to you. Good, and breathe. If this bothers your back, you can lean forward. Release the neck, release the jaw. Good, and then letting go, stepping forward. What I really like in the middle of the day to open up this area is, and we're not going to do it right now because we've done it a few times in the past couple weeks, but is the wall pec stretch. I think we might have even done this last week. That's an awesome one to really get this stuff open after sitting for a while with your arms in front of you, okay? But this is what I'm doing instead today, all right? So left leg forward, right leg back, warrior one, so we can get the legs involved too. A little bit of balance, right? A little bit of strength, okay? So we're gonna inhale, take the hands behind the back, clasping the fingers, knuckles to sacrum. Inhale, roll the shoulder heads back if you can and squeeze the elbows toward one another. And you can decide, right? You could stay right here, or you could straighten, or you could lean. Okay, what works best for you today? Keep breathing. And release, stepping forward. Let's do some hula hoops. So another good way, and I think I will see if this is in the other videos I mentioned, but is to go, if you just need a full body stiffness and warm up, is to go from either head to toe or feet to head and warm up each joint, right? So to go through it. And we've done many things. They might even come to you when you try to do it on your own, even without a video. Like for example, we do the toes a lot, right? You could do toe rises standing, right? We do the ankles a lot. That one was an ankle one, but so is this. Let's do this one right now. Roll around the perimeter of one of your feet. Both directions, 3 times. Good. Feel before switching sides. Do the second side. Good, and notice. We've done knees already today. We did the mobilizations, and then we also did some squatting, right? Another one you can do are these little circles. Remember these? Right, I like these because they warm up feet and ankles and hips a little bit too, and they're also pretty groovy. Okay, good. And then we did hips already, but right now we're going to add some additional hip with the controlled articular rotations or CARs. Now this one you want balance support because it's not about balance. And let's just put it on one side. It could be wall, it could be chair. And inhale, stand tall. And exhale, let's lift the outside knee up. So these are done slowly. Doesn't matter how tall you go, it's just where you can go, okay? Inhale. And then exhale, taking it out to the side. Good. Inhale. Now we're trying to keep ribs down and not lean, right? Exhale, you might have to lower it a lot for this. Now we're internally rotating the hip. So it might look like this, right? Or it might be up higher. You just don't want it to be like this, okay? Good, inhale. And now exhale, we're taking it to hip extension. And I find people are really limited here. So it's upright, but the knee is trying to go back behind without arching, without like doing a back bend. Okay, good, inhale. And then exhale, bring it forward and up. And then down. Good. Normally, I would do that in reverse as well, but let's go to the other side. Okay, so I would do it 2 to 3 times on each side. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, outside leg up. And inhale, stand tall. Exhale, out to the side. Good. Inhale. Exhale, turning inner knee down. Inhale. Exhale, bringing it out behind you. Good. Inhale. Exhale, bringing it forward and up. And then down. Just step in side to side, little shimmies or bounces. All right, leg swinging. Another really good one to reduce stiffness, to just get everything moving and warmed up. So a wall sometimes feels better for these. The other thing that can feel better for these is to stand on something. So it's like you stand on a step or a block, but you can do it with the leg on the ground, right? It's just if you have something stable to stand on, you have a little more space. Of course, then the chair is lower, and that's all you're doing is you're swinging your leg, okay? And you're noticing how it feels. It's great before walking, biking, running, hiking, okay? On the floor, like I'll do this before a run, so I just do it on the ground. Your foot might hit the ground, but you just try to flex the ankle so it doesn't, okay? Good. And you can add the arm if you want. Good. And then stand on both legs and notice. And then go to the other side. So if you're standing on something, you might have to turn around, right? Or move your prop around. And whenever you're ready, go for it. Good, you guys. And then stand down. So you can see that that works on, and just stand for a moment, kind of wiggle out any tension. But it works on flexibility, of course, right? Because I'm working right here on hamstring flexibility, warming it up. But it also works on hip strength, right? To get it up there, and control. And extension, getting it back behind. Of course, it uses momentum, but that's okay. All right, so noticing how you feel right now. Could close your eyes for a moment. See if you can wiggle all your toes. And start to bring our heart rate back down a little bit with our breath. So as you inhale, inhaling and going really wide. And as you exhale, pursed lip, slow exhale. And then again, this time fogging up the mirror, exhale. And then let's add arms. Inhale up. Now you could do any of those, or you could add a hum. And repeat whenever you get to it. Good, and then just pause. And notice the effect on your nervous system. Let's try to balance. Okay. Okay, you can use any support you want. We're just going to do a standard tree pose, okay? Now get your focal point and inhale, stand tall. And as you exhale, bring one knee forward, and you can turn it out if you want. The sole of the foot could be on the ankle with the toes on the floor, on the calf, or it could be higher up. Okay. Hands can be holding something or in your center, or they could be up toward the ceiling if you want. Good. A couple more breaths. When you're ready, just bringing the knee forward and down. And second side, when you're ready, getting your focal point, soft eyes, inhale. And as you exhale, left knee into, or other knee into tree. Doesn't have to be way up there. I'm just showing it in case you want to do it. You have to use your hand typically to get it up there. Okay. Any arm position. Soft eyes. Good. And as you're ready, you can bring the knee forward and down. Step side to side a little bit. We're going to make our way down to the floor. You won't need your chair unless you want it, okay? And I don't think we'll have time for the strap on the floor, but a strap stretch is always a fun idea to get those hamstrings mobilized. But we'll come down and use our head and neck support. You could always have a block nearby if you want, or two. And as you lower down onto the floor, I know we've been doing a lot of core stuff lately. We're not going to do that today. You can always go there. Core stuff is a great idea anytime. Instead, I'm just going to review some of the hip warm-ups that you can do when you're still in bed, right? So before you get out of the bed in the morning. Yes, once you get out, you can do those rock climbers, right? Once you stand up, or stretching to the side, or side bends, which we didn't do today. Gosh, we always do those, but we didn't. Okay, so it's going to be here on our back. Inhale. And as you exhale, right knee in. Left leg can be straight or bent, right? Then you can start to make circles with the right hip. And you can bring it back to the center and hold behind the leg, stretching the leg up and bending it again. Now it might feel better to have your left knee bent as you do that. And then bending the knee, bringing the foot down, and noticing the two sides. Inhale, let's stretch arms overhead and reach through the heels. And then exhale, bringing left knee in. You can make circles with the knee. And circle the opposite way. Coming into the center, holding behind the knee, or using a strap as you inhale, stretch up. And exhale, bend. foot come down. Let's come onto one side. You need to make sure you have enough head and neck support for your body. I'm just stacking the knees today for this one, but it could also be done if you prefer. It could be done with the top knee over onto the floor and the bottom leg straight. Okay. I'm gonna do open like a book. This is a good one to do in bed too. So you inhale, reach that top arm forward, let the head roll down, and exhale, keeping the knee down, that top knee down, opening up the arm, letting the head roll whatever amount it can or wants to, and repeat. Noticing where you're feeling this open up. If you want to stay open, you could. And your twist. Feeling yourself breathing into both sides of your ribcage. And then as you're ready, closing your book. And coming onto your back. And over to the other side. You can just roll right over. I'm just switching so I can see you. And it can be just the top knee over onto the floor, or they could be stacked. When you're ready, get your head and neck support set up. Reach that top arm forward and exhale, open it up, noticing how this side it might feel different. And repeat. You can hold the book open if you'd like, making any movements you want to make. Feeling for that expansive breath. And then as you're ready, closing your book, coming onto your back. Drawing both knees in towards your belly. Give them a hug. You can make little circles on your low back. And all of these that we're doing today on the floor like this could be done in your bed. Might go side to side. So that before you've even stood up, often most people feel really stiff when they stand up at various ages, and as we get older, we tend to feel more stiff. It's a very common feeling. So the more you can move right away in the morning, the better. You can do happy baby pose if you want to. So that's just knees are bent, right? Thighs are trying to be close to the outer ribs and the feet face the ceiling, but you could wrap your arms around the outer knees, your hands, or you could reach up for the feet. Some people can do that. You can rock your baby. And we didn't get to any bridge pose today, but that's another good one. It's not the best in the bed because you don't have a firm surface to press into though. Now as you come down from happy baby, just notice if there's anything else your body wants to do, like windshield wipers or any other tensions remaining. that you'd like to release, or head rocks. We didn't focus a lot on the neck today, so. And when you're ready to, you can find a position for Shavasana. It can be any restorative pose using any props. Moving your shoulder blades away from your ears. A position that allows you to practice letting go of effort. You take a sigh here. Just scanning your body for any areas where you might be able to let go of tension. Maybe your tongue or your jaw, your eyes. And getting a sense for how your whole body feels right now. So just spreading your awareness through your whole body. And then maybe letting go again if you can, a little bit deeper. And I'll leave you there, and you can spend as much time here as you'd like. So thank you for joining me.